Hello, welcome back to Your Light and Darkness. I'm Ashley, and today we are going to talk about how to deal with the grief of the changing world. It's currently April 2025, and things are changing rapidly. These are things that have been talked about for many years. They've been occurring for many years, but it's speeding up now. It's because we're in a different time energetically at many levels. And so as things shift, it's shifting spiritually on down. And so now we're seeing a lot of these changes happen in the 3D physical realm. And that is causing a lot of angst and fear. And something that's not as much talked about is sadness in people. I see it in a lot of videos that I will look at, especially a lot of these nostalgia type videos that'll go back to the 80s and the 90s, and they'll talk about the times and how they were back then. And people in the comments will say, they didn't realize just how good it was, or quote unquote normal it was compared to now. Yeah, things seem like they were on the up and up in some ways, and other ways no. But people were talking about that and missing that and wishing that they could go back to that time. And I believe it's because it seemed very stable for some, but now is very unstable for many. And a lot of people do not have the skill to adapt. And that comes from not ever having to really change and really change and having to grow through the things that you go through. And this can be very sad for some people, especially if you are a person, or maybe someone that really bought into everything that was placed in front of you. You need to live life this way. You need to get this house and these cars and these possessions. And that's the thing that shows that you have made it. If you bought into college is the only way. And, a lot of these things I did, trust and believe, I understand that. Around, I was, I grew up a kid in the 90s, and graduated high school early 2000s. And so, if you're from that time period, that during that time, the big push was college is the only freaking way. And now we know different. It was all this go to college, all this stuff. You can't be anything if you don't have a college degree. And I get it. It was what was given to our people before that, and they didn't know any different. And so now we have all these generations that were sold one thing, and now all of that illusion of that is falling. That's very sad for some that built everything on that way of being, and some people whose ego is caught and wrapped up in it and cannot detach from that. And so if that's you, I want you to know that it's okay to be sad. It's okay to wish, things had turned out different. It's like anything, if you've gone through a relationship, the relationship changes and it ends, or you had a dream of something and it just didn't turn out the way that you would have liked it to turn out, then that's sad. You will experience a range of emotions, but don't stay stuck in it. Face it and see it for what it is, and know that yes, things are changing or have changed. They're just picking up in pace and awareness of the change. But know that you can take this time and create an even better version of your life experience, a more freeing version, a version that's more aligned with who you are at an energetic soul level. You can use this time to really refocus on what it really is that you want to do. You can tap into what you want to do and who you really are. Because a lot of the things that many people experience growing up and even into adulthood is living out someone else's dream. So you can take the time now to evaluate if how life was before, were you living that because that's what you wanted? Or were you doing that because someone else said that, hey, this is how it is how it should be from their perspective and perception of life? Because we each have our own. So I want you to sit and think about that. Use this time, process your emotions, yes. Don't let them get the best of you, but you have to figure out where they're coming from. If you're sad about everything that's happening, if you're afraid about everything that's happening, figure out where that's coming from. When I'm a big person on getting to the root of a matter, because I believe when we get to the root of something, that's where we can see what's truly going on and begin to work through it and heal it. But if we're just seeing bits and pieces and we don't know where this stuff is coming from, and then you're working from the middle, you got to get to the root. And so sit and write it out. Really just sit, and when one memory pops up, write it down. When another pops up, write it down. And I call that kind of working backwards, a drill down method, something I use when I teach and help with shadow work. And so, same thing with this. If everything that is happening is really keeping you stuck in fear and sadness or whatever emotion, and it's very uncomfortable, that's inviting you to explore that emotion and that feeling and to see where it's coming from. Because I promise you, even though all this stuff is going on, it has a root somewhere in your life from an experience in your life that's connecting, but you just can't see it because you have to do that work to figure out how these feelings and experiences are connected. So, I highly encourage you to do that. Know that it's okay to feel how you feel. You're entitled to feel how you feel, but don't let that get the best of you. And then I want you to find a way where you can turn this into something that's for your good. That's that's the beauty of healing, that's the beauty of transformation, that's the beauty of change, and the beauty of being able to take one thing and turn it into another, to alchemize a situation. And so do that if you are dealing with a lot of grief surrounding this. If you are seeing others around you dealing with grief, have a conversation with them. I feel that now would be a good time to have deeper conversations. We're in that time, astrologically and energetically, if I can get the word out. We're in that time, and now would be a good time to have deeper conversations with those that are ready, not forced conversations, but deeper conversations with those that are ready, because as things change, more comes up, and it offers an opportunity to see things differently, to change, to heal, to grow, and to go in a different direction. And so individuals are doing that, but I think that as more and more people do it, you'll see little groups of people, not just online, but in person and in different ways, coming together to change this whole experience so that it works for this now time. So if you have questions, you want to leave a comment, please do so. I thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to know more about what I do, more about me, visit my website. It's www.yourlightindarkness.com. Thank you for tuning in each time I post a video or an audio. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so that you can get notification that I have posted. And if you want to send me a private email, you don't feel comfortable leaving it on the platform that you're seeing this or listening to this on, feel free to do so. My email is alightindarkness4you@gmail.com. And on that note, I will speak to you in the next message. Thank you so much. I love you and I appreciate you. Bye-bye.